Hello. Boy, it's been a long time. I haven't streamed in a good minute. So, yeah, welcome back. I'm not going to do too much today. But yeah, I've been gone for a while. I've had a baby. I love babies. So I've just been super busy with that. I haven't been able to be online for a good minute. It's been months, but I'm hoping to get back into it and make some more content, teach some stuff. So yeah, let me fix. I think you should be hearing some music, but I don't think you are. What's going on? Well, none of that's working. Anyway, who cares? All right, so I was thinking, there's, I just forked a repository. I was going to change something and just wanted to stream it. So, what I've been doing some F5, big F5 work a little bit recently, and helping a friend out, and I wanted to fix something, PR it, and then I don't know, maybe PR more F5 stuff. So let me get out of here. Let's clone my fork. Oh, good. Let's reopen this. If this is too small, let me know. Since the last time I streamed, I've gotten some new toys, new desk setup. So I've got this giant widescreen monitor, which I'm streaming off of. And to me, what I'm seeing is really big, but maybe it's too small when it's showing up at 1080p. So just let me know. And I can make this bigger. But what I wanted to change real quick, let me find, I think it's in public. It's the new session, new F5 session. Yeah. So I'm going to, gosh, you guys, if someone can let me know if you can hear some background music or not. If not, I'd like to get this fixed. It doesn't look like you can. But there we go. How's that? Okay. Maybe you can hear that now. Let me know if that's too loud. So, all right. What I wanted to change was, so I use F5 stuff at work. This is not code at work, so I can't actually connect to the F5 and show what's going on. But when you run the new F5 session command and you give it everything it needs, you get this warning from the convert to JSON command that happens inside. And even if it's a successful created session, you still get this garbage on your screen. So instead of having the user have to silence a warning, I just thought we'd come in here, convert to JSON, and just add the warning action, silently continue, just to shut that up. It's a warning. If there's an error or something went wrong, the user can see that. But if it's just a warning, who cares? So I just thought we'd come in here and shut it up. Warning action, and there we go. Save. Silencing warning. Is that how you spell silencing? Wow, my brain just stopped working. Okay, that is, it just looks weird to me. Silencing. I guess what I could do. Okay, let me think about this. I don't want to suppress it no matter what all the time. So maybe what we can do is, oh, there is no beginning block. Maybe up here. I want to detect if the user themselves gives a warning action. And if not, then default to silently continue. But if I provide warning action stop, I don't want to have that overridden because I hard coded it to ignore it in the script. So let me do a test real quick. One sec. All right, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Okay. So function test warning action. We need to add a commandlet binding, an empty parameter block. And then I just want to test if a warning action was specified. I think that's... Let's look at this. Whoops. Crap. Hang on. Well, that commit message isn't even accurate. Okay, let me paste this function down here. Okay, true. So I provided it. Otherwise, I shouldn't get anything back. False. Let's just do this. Okay, so it is provided. So way up here, I can say warning action. Warning. Okay, warning preference is the built-in one. So let's go warning action. Provided warning preference. Now, warning action preference. I do this all the time. I can never figure out what to name stuff. All right. So if PS bound parameters, if they provide contains key warning, if someone provides a warning action, oops. What is going on here? There we go. That's exactly what I want. Otherwise, it equals silently continue. And instead of hard coding these, I'm going to just say warning action preference. Oh, that happens before. I need to move this. There. So there's one. Here's the second one. And the third one. Let me save. Okay. That's everything. So, unless specifically provided. Suppress JSON warning, even if cool. All right, so that gets, so the way that works is that gets pushed up to my GitHub, my fork here. And then I think I go to the original and I PR from mine. Compare across forks. Okay. His master. I want to bring my master across. Yep. Okay. Let me create pull request. Even upon what was that error? I've got a screenshot of it up here. There we go. Thank you, Noel. I will just paste this right there. I think these are lowercase. Okay. Spell this word right. There we go. Let me make sure that, no, here. Okay, yep, so it's lowercase. Hey, Noel, is this text too small? I've never streamed on this giant monitor. It's huge to me, but I just want to make sure that in Twitch, you know, if you made this full screen or something, that it's still legible, basically. So anyway, okay. Create pull request. Cool. That'll fix that. It bugged me. That's what's great about GitHub is if something bugs you, you can just go and fix it. You can fix it yourself, which is great. So, what's going on here? Anyway, okay. What can I work on next? So I've got some other code on HelpDesk that I want to look at. Yeah, so this is the next thing that I want to work on. On the get locked out AD users function, which I alias as GLO, GLO, should give you all the locked out users in your domain. If you have the RSAT tools installed, or the Active Directory module. Anyway, if you have that, you can see everyone that's locked out. It's in the HelpDesk module, so obviously that helps a HelpDesk person see who's locked out, who's calling. It would be awesome to see what device forced the lockout. Where did the lockout come from in your domain? Unfortunately, those logs are on the domain controller, which usually your HelpDesk person wouldn't have rights to. So the idea is that if a HelpDesk person adds a flag to GLO, I don't want to change its base behavior. You should just GLO, get your locked out stuff. Usually that stuff is read only on the domain, or read to everybody. But if someone has domain admin pretty much to view the logs on the domain controllers, then they should have the privilege of seeing the lockout source. Now this will take longer, but it sure beats remoting in and looking at logs yourself, right? So I suggested a way. I haven't really written this code yet. I've written some of it, but I suggested a way to make it faster. The way it would work right now is, let's say you've got 10 users locked out if you type GLO. For each one of those users as it comes back, it would query the domain controller for a lockout event. And that might be 20 different logs that it's got to go through, or so, or more, whatever, just to find one that matches the user so it can show you the lockout event. And then the next user comes along and it's going to re-query the same amount of logs or more to find the next user that comes down the pipe. So the idea is, the first time we're going to keep track of all the logs that we pull across, the 4070 logs, or the 4740 logs. Those are the ones. Well, let me just pull it up. What is this? All right, let me get out of here. Yeah. Okay, I committed all this. Let me get out of here. So this needs to be HelpDesk. Okay, issue number 4. So this is the right repo. So where's that at? Yeah, get locked out AD users. So first we get all the user accounts that are locked out, except guest, because who cares? And then I do some fluff where Active Directory gives you the ticks value. Oh, okay, pretty tiny. That's what I was wondering. I'm streaming off of my giant 49-inch 5K monitor. So the text to me is huge, but I didn't know how it showed up on 1080 on a stream. So hopefully this is big enough. If not, let me know. Thanks. Active Directory, when it gives you the lockout timestamp, it's in ticks. So I convert the ticks to a normal date time. So you get that here. I think I have an example up here. Yeah, so convert that to your local time zone timestamp from ticks, and then I customize that object. This isn't perfect yet, but oh no, this is done. So the way it's written right now is this is the function that actually finds the lockout source from the domain controller. It's a whole other function. We'll look at this in a sec. What this is doing is it's querying the event logs of your specific domain controller that has those logs. If a HelpDesk person or someone using this includes this switch that says, hey, query the domain controller, I want to first make sure that they actually have those rights. before, giving them a bunch of errors on each person that's locked out because they don't have the rights. So I basically just test a remote connection. If this doesn't error, then this variable never gets set to false. So if this command works, they have rights to remote into the domain controller, which usually means they're an admin on the domain controller. This probably could be better, but for now, this worked in my couple test cases. So this is, if that is present. Okay, so if they provide this, it sets this switch to true. So if it's true, run this check. If this errors, we go to the catch block and it then resets it to false, as if the user never provided it. If this errors and they don't have access, we pretty much remove the fact that they included this at all, give them a warning, hey, you don't have rights, blah, blah, blah. And this object will only provide the, can I scroll? The heck? It'll only provide the properties, which by default is 3 properties: name, account, lockout time. You can add any extra Active Directory property to this with properties. If you wanted that, you can add their email address or whatever else from Active Directory. That's pretty cool. That works the same way that like get AD user property star or member of or something. You can provide this to Glow, which is the alias again. Properties member of, and it would give you those 3 defaults and any extras that you provide. But if they do include lockout source, it will also give them the lockout source column with hopefully the source. That's what we're going to work on optimizing this. This runs super slow. So if they don't include this or they don't have access, they get just the defaults that you provide. Oh, you know what? This is a little broken. Because I'm returning this custom object, I think I need to... Okay, I need to change this real quick, even though this doesn't work. Add member. No. Lockout source is going to be this. Okay, this is, I want to write it this way. Before, let's say you wanted to include member of. If you then also included this, because you included this, you would only get the hard-coded object that I returned, which was those 4 properties. This way, $_ includes any of the properties that you include. And let's just add one more to it. So that's what I want. I want it to keep your custom stuff and add the lockout source column. So, okay, cool. I didn't even realize that was an issue. So we fixed that. Now we can look at get lockout source, because this is what is going to take a while. Because every time it requeries the same logs until it finds the user that matches. So if we look here, when it finds a locked out user, it then tries to find the lockout source for that user against the domain controller. Every time. Like I said, if there's 10 users, this gets ran 10 different times. What I would like to do is have some sort of like lockout events. I should probably make this a list instead of an array. What's the difference? there's a list that you can create. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. What I hate doing is saying lockout events plus equals, lockouts, something here. I hate the plus equals because it technically creates a new array with the new object and destroys the old one. But if you create a list in a certain way, you could just do lockout events add and do it this way. This is all GitHub Copilot trying to help me out. But let me look up what that is. So, yeah, it's a list. And maybe it's easier. New object, list, and then add. That's what I want to do. Or do I want to keep this an array? Get locked out source is your code. Oh, so it's my code in one of my modules. So this is, we're in my HelpDesk module. And I created a new function out here, get lockout source. So it's just another one of my public functions. I don't know if I'm going to keep it this way though. If I want people to be able to call it by itself, or if you need to use glow, which is get locked out AD users. This one's been out here for a while. But then Noel suggested that, hey, add the source to it. I want to see that they're locked out. I want to see when they're locked out and from where. And so that sort of led to all of this. So this is on my GitHub HelpDesk. This is, okay. Let me just link this in here for you. So this is in a branch, issue 4. Yeah, in the Windows event log. So I thought we're looking in the Windows event log of a specific domain controller. I don't think all the domain controllers get the lockout source logs, the 4740 logs. That's the event ID. Let's go to that function. So first we prove that the user's locked out. That is getting this. And then we get win event with, it's a security log on a specific domain controller. It's this PDC emulator. If you do get AD domain, you get a bunch of stuff back. This gives you one domain controller. I think it's the root domain controller. I don't know what you call it. One of them is the master, and then the rest replicate from it, pretty much. One of them's got to be in charge. I do not remember what that's called, but that's the one that gets those lockout logs, if I understand it. I don't think you can just query any domain controller in your environment. It's got to be this one. And you'll always get a value back for this if you're in a configured domain. So once we figure out what computer that is, we come down here and query its event log for 4740. And then we do some disgusting garbage to parse the message of the log to get the line that has the computer name, which is the source of the lockout. It's awful. And because I don't have access to my domain controller to test this, I've had to borrow logs from people to then play with the formatting of the log. But it's really gross because the log message itself comes with tabs. It's just one block of text. And it's really awful. But I found out the logic that I have here to parse that log works for some and not others. Even though the 4740 event message should be the exact same format. Not everything will have a value, but the format and the spacing and the new line should all look the exact same. It doesn't work for everybody. So more to look at. But yeah, we query the event log. Select the first one. So this is the event. And then we do this to get the computer name. the whole what list? What do you mean by that? Like the whole event log? Or the whole list of users that are locked out? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Grab every lockout event? Yeah, see, my issue with that is there could be thousands of these if you're in a big company. If one lockout event that the domain controller has is from a year ago and it keeps it that long, you've got to go through every log to find it. I'm trying to figure out how to keep this one command from taking 3 hours, you know. Right now I am, but I'm thinking of some clever ways to limit either how long it looks at the logs or how many logs that I pull. So get when event, you can specify a maximum. Yeah, maximum events. I want to do this filter, look at the security event log, but don't look at more than 400. If you look at 400, that's the maximum. So I don't think that's the best way to go. But another thing that I saw was filter XML. So right now, the way that I'm filtering is I am looking at every security event and I pipe that into where to look at this. I think I can provide some sort of XML type filter and I can filter on this event ID in front of the pipeline. I think that would speed this up quite a bit. I just haven't looked into, I just don't know what this looks like, but that's a homework item for me. The less pipeline I can get, the better. And I think this would really speed that up because then it would know, this command would know what to skip instead of grab everything, throw everything through the pipeline and filter it here. So, that's on my list. That's one way to speed this up. If I do that, I don't think I need to limit on like 500 events maximum or something, because that's going to speed it up quite a bit. But the idea is over here, I'd have to restructure where I'm doing this, but let's say user number 1 comes through the pipe and I have to look through 27 of those lockout logs before I find the one that has the user and it can give me its lockout source. My thought is store those 27 on this machine. Don't store them in an array. Keep those events. And then I can, for the next user that comes down, look through my stored 27 first, because maybe they're in there, instead of starting from scratch every time, pinging the domain controller. Lockout is an account that is locked out, not disabled. So someone that, types their password in 3 times wrong and, they're locked out. They have to call the help desk to get unlocked. That's what we're looking for. It doesn't, disabled and locked out are different. Yeah. So it's, and I've dealt with this. I've been in help desk, which I think everybody should do. You get a user that calls, oh, hey, I'm locked out. Oh, okay. Oh, you're unlocked. Good to go. They call back in 5 minutes. Hey, I'm locked out again. Well, what'd you do? Oh, they didn't do anything. Where are they getting locked out? I mean, this can take days sometimes to figure out what server might they still be on. They changed their password. They didn't log out. So that's where this comes in handy, is if you have some troubled users and you genuinely don't know where they're locked out, this is supposed to help with that. I just don't want this command to take 5 hours. So this works. This worked for Noel. But then, like I said, I had someone else try it, and the way that I parse the message of the log didn't work for them. So I've got to fix this garbage. I've got to fix the filter to make that a lot faster. But like I said, the idea is, like, if I store 27 of them here, I want to cache the ones I've already found. And then, the next user that I look at, if there is another one, look through the array that I've cached first. And if not, I want to filter this command even further. So if I look at the timestamp of the oldest cached log that I have, that's when I want to start my next query. I don't need to go from the beginning and look up the first 27. I think this filter XML is going to come in real handy with I can add some conditions to it. Look for 4740 and start with logs that are older than this timestamp because I've already got those. The first 27 in my example. And then any new logs that I find, now I've got 28. Now I've got 29. Add them to the cache. So that's what I'd like to invent, but I haven't done that yet. So I've just been thinking through a few different things I can do to speed this up. I think the filter XML here is one. If I can, I don't know how, I don't even know if that's what this is for, filter XML. I don't know, but if it can do what I think, then I can hopefully also add a date filter. Just find logs older than what I've got cached and add those to the cache until I find the user. And then basically the cache will grow until the whole process is done. Once I found the source for every user, you can just throw it all away, garbage collection, whatever. So that's the idea of what we're doing. This, like I said, this works. It just takes forever. So, yeah, I guess the question would be, instead of muddying this up, I should probably write a separate function that hosts the cache, probably, instead of doing it all in this one function. Maybe make another one. Maybe I can write this down here. Or would I cache in this and maybe make like an environment variable until the script is done running, and then throw that variable away? Would script work for that? If I set a script variable inside of this function, that gets brought into this scope when I run it, I think. So I could probably handle the cache inside of the function that calls for the events, right? Maybe. Yeah, events. Oh, event. This is a single event. Okay, let's do that. Filter hash table. Oh, so I would just provide ID. Well, it's a hash table, so I'd have to say equal to 4740 like this, yeah? Oh, log. Security. What else am I providing? Oh, okay. Nope. Okay, yeah, it is a literal, it's a hash table. Yeah, duh. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm not an admin in this console. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so let's open that up. Thanks. Get win event. There we go. All right. Time for some logs. Filter hash table. One or more key value pairs. Got it. Oh, maybe it doesn't like my space. Maybe. Got a space in here. Parameter set. Oh, I'm providing the whole hash table. So I probably, if I'm providing the hash table, I need to also say like this. That's probably what it doesn't like. That's what I want. Okay. That's it. That was so fast. Now, just to prove a point. And now we sit and we sit for it to literally look at every log and check its ID. Wow, that is so much faster. Okay, that's great. So filter hash table. I would just provide another hash table in here, which I've already got. Oops. Log name and ID equals okay. Yeah, good point. Well, okay, let's just pick this one. Boom. This is so cool. You know what? Let me look at where do I have that at? I've got a command here already. Come on. This is get reboot logs. You point this to a remote server and it shows you all the logs where it rebooted. Sometimes it's like the server went down. Who the heck just did that? So I wrote this, but it is so slow. I could prove this right now in my environment by just doing this hash table filter. So instead of this, log name equals system ID equals 1074. I'm going to do single quotes on that anyway. Wow. Okay. I've got some stuff to fix. That's awesome. Before, well, let me put that back. That's admin toolkit, right? Yeah. This is it before. Look, it finds them one by one because it's got to go through every one of them. So that's the old way of doing it. Locally, across the network, I could wait 4 minutes before I would get one of these logs. But now I would get them immediately. That's fantastic. Okay, this is great. Thanks for that. So we provide the hash table like this. Yeah, I think, okay, let me, What are some other stuff that I'm trying to provide? Like error action. Yeah, okay. I can still provide that other stuff. I just need to nest the rest in a nested hash table. Because I love splatting. Splatting's my jam. So since we have that, I can get rid of this. Oh, let me look at what else can we filter by? User ID. Keywords. Ooh, start time and end time. That's fantastic. So that's how I will decide. I've cached these 27, only start looking for stuff that's after. But since this is so fast, like you said, I probably could just grab every event from the whole server right away, very quickly. And then I don't have to worry about caching or refiltering. All user IDs. Well, I don't know if keywords. Yeah, I would have to test that. That's a theory though. I could give it an array of all the users. Yeah. Because then that would give me a list of these are logs that match. And then I'd have to just parse each one. Grab the newest one for each user. Parse it. Find the computer name. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. That's the log ID. I don't see user ID on here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe in a domain environment. Yeah, I'd see. Oh, user ID. Okay, so this is a log that doesn't have it. But maybe a lockout log would. Hey, Noel, if you're still on, can you try this in your environment? So it's yeah, we're just giving the hash table, and I need to see if on a 4740, which again, I don't have rights to do this on here, or maybe I should make an Active Directory lab or something on this computer, but to see if on a real 4740 if there's the SID of the user, because then we can just query Active Directory for who that is. Or make sure the SID matches who we're talking about. Yeah. Where is an example of that? Well, this would be 4740. PDC emulator. I think this is the command you would need to run. Because, yeah, let me make sure that that's correct. PDC emulator, yeah. So if you run that, I just need to know if you see a SID for user ID. You'll get the whole properties back, but you do. You get a SID. Can you Um, okay, how do we use this? We would pass the SID from the lockout function. Well, it probably depends on the log type, if it's provided or not. So the random one that I looked at, this probably isn't even a thing that is tied to Active Directory to have a user ID. But we may be able to reliably count on that all 4740 events have a user ID property. We can confirm that later. But it would be nice to no user ID. Oh, Streamlabs, get out of here. How do I shut it off? Anyway, you found a log that does not have a user ID, is what you're saying. A 4740 without it. Shoot. Okay. Unreliable. Oh, it doesn't even have it. Now that you have a log, in the message you can see the username in your environment that it's for. Can you add that to the keywords? For example, we would come in here and say, well, let me make sure that keywords equals the SAM account name of that user. And then does this just return the correct log? Yeah, and select first one. If that works, select first one would still be okay, because even if they have 5,000 lockout logs, the first one chronologically is going to be the newest, and we just want the most recent. It's just blank. You don't get anything back. Okay. Just add out of here. All right. If you well, we don't even need this error action. If you just ran this, wait, no. Oops. Computer name. Okay, we don't need this stuff. Yeah, well, this would be getting every lockout event from the domain controller. What I'm trying to figure out is if this is going to go quickly enough. So Noel, the command I just sent you, this will store every 4740 from a remote computer into a local variable, all of them. How quickly does that run, and how many logs did this give you? If this is fast enough, then I don't have to worry about... Yeah. Again, I can't run this, but... Whoops. But yeah, we could do... Oh, you have 11 logs? Okay. But... Noel, you're at a company that has one forest or two. Querying this domain controller would be all of your company's employees or just the specific captain domain controller for whatever domain you happen to be in. All employees. And you have around like 2,000, right? Or like a nice, small, mid-sized organization. It takes 2 seconds to get everything. Yeah, that's good. If someone at Microsoft runs this, might take them 5 seconds or something, you know. I don't know how crazy we want to be with optimization out of the gate. I mean, we get something working and then make it a little better. But right now, it's not really working. Okay, you ran this. It got you 11. Okay. Yeah, who cares, right? I mean, as long as we garbage collect this after the fact, I mean, who cares, right? We'll care later. We'll get something working. We'll care after it's working. So that user ID is unreliable, which sucks. Yeah, don't think about GC. Yeah. We can pass this, which is great. This is just here in case you ran this from a domain controller. You ran the get locked out command, and it would have to run against itself so the command doesn't break. Yeah, anyway. So this gives us every log. Well, yeah, okay. This gives us every log. This then searches those logs to see if my garbage parser of the message field, if that array entry matches the username. And there maybe all 11 are for the same user. Just give me the first one. That would be the most recent lockout event. Yeah, all the events beforehand. Yeah. But see, the way it's written now is... The way it's written right now is we would be grabbing all of the 4740 logs every single time. And then filtering off of a single user. So it's almost like... Back on the glow command where we get the locked out users in the first place. It's like we need to remove this from the pipeline. This returns all like this. We catch it here. And then we pass this table to this one time. And it fills in the whole list of users. It's just, I like to keep things... This is like one loop to get a table. Then we loop again. Then we loop again. Is it faster to just stay inside the one iteration and do it? But it doesn't sound like it. It is faster. Okay. Hold up. I'm waiting. Let's change this music a little bit. Can you guys hear the music? Is it too loud? Is it loud enough? Can you hear it at all? Oh, so you... Okay, no music. I should be playing music. Is that music? You were hearing it. It's very quiet. I can turn it up. I don't know if it's how it sounds on the stream compared to how loud my voice is. Okay, cool. All right, so I see what you're saying. Get all the lockout events first, and then I can query here. That's a great idea. I don't know why I thought it had to be done afterwards. So I still want to make sure we're only checking the events if this is correct, or they provide it. So if that is present, then lockout events equals get lockout source. Okay, so right now this requires that I give it an identity because it's I've done this before. How to conditionally add where object in a pipeline. Does that make sense? If there's no user provided, there's no reason to filter. It's just give me all the events, return that. But I still would like this to get lockout source. Like you could run this directly. I don't know what you mean by that. I guess maybe have two versions of the command. Like if someone does provide an identity, run this. Else just get when events. Like that. And I don't need this anymore. Well, I probably should keep this. Hey, okay, so the format of doing this at each pipe, you can stack a pipeline like this. One of these methods, whether having the pipe at the end of the character or stacking the pipe at the beginning, one of those is backwards compatible with Windows PowerShell. Do you know which one that is? One of these works in the new way, and one is actually backwards compatible. I don't remember which is which. Okay, yeah, the full list. I would love this command to do both. So if they call it just like this, just get lockout source, they tell it what computer to look at, it'll return everything. But if they do specify a user, it will just return that one user. I don't know. I like functions that can do that. Oh, the question was, so if I've got a long pipeline line, I can either enter after the pipeline and start and stack the pipeline like this with these at the end, or some people write their stuff like this. One of these was introduced with PowerShell 7 and is not backwards compatible. And the other one is backwards compatible. And the two is the pipeline at the beginning or at the end. Oh, you need the tick at the end. This line is just getting so long. I don't know. I'll just leave it. Who cares? Yeah, because at the end of this... No, not that one. Yeah. Oh, see, I think that's a PowerShell 7, maybe not 7.0, but a new, like if I did get service, so I'm hitting Control Enter, so I haven't executed yet, where status. Yeah, see that? You can, no continuation mark. PowerShell is aware of the new line, detects for a pipeline, and then it continues the single pipeline command. I guess I could just prove this if I copied this into Windows PowerShell. Does not work. See, it doesn't continue. So this is the new method. That's really small. Wow. Doesn't work in Windows PowerShell. But in PowerShell 7, it is pretty beautiful syntax to be able to do this. It just looks cool. So yeah, it is new. I don't use it often because if it is so unnecessary to write something in a way that removes backwards compatibility when it could very easily be kept at the cost of a little bit of readability, it's not worth it to me to use the cool new ternaries or, pipeline stacking format like that, because then I force everyone to use PowerShell for this module when I could very easily keep my backwards compatibility. So I like to avoid that stuff, even if it looks a little ugly. Yeah, just use the backtick. Now that looks uglier. I do not like the backtick. I'm not going to do it. What am I doing here? Oh, I want to return this simple object each time. There. Okay. So this will return the same object if they provide an identity, which means target this user. They get all events. We filter on the user, get the newest one, return a single. Well, you know what? If we're doing this, we wouldn't even need this. Because what if it's multiple machines? Yeah, I know what you meant. I think you're saying to do like this, pipe backtick like that. Pipe backtick. You're talking this format? Where you tick it at the end? This is what I don't like to write, is what I'm saying. But if maybe you're referring to something else, I apologize, because I assumed you were talking about this. Yeah. So, okay, we can do this. So that means here, I would get every lockout event. I would just need to pass it, yeah, computer name. And this will give me every event in this format, identity lockout source. So here, let's do this. Okay, my brain is thinking every single user, pipe all the events into a loop, and then search each event one by one. But I know there's ways to like something like this. I can, or even like for each here is faster than a for each object pipeline loop. I'm not sure which way to go. Or I could even do lockout events contains hash tables. But yeah, okay, so I'm returning this object, identity and lockout source. I guess I've never used a hash table to filter like that, like here, once I've got the array, basically. Or I've never used it. So if you've got an example of that, that would be awesome. So I don't have to loop every time. I don't have to like loop through each one of the events. I just say like contains this hash table. That's what you mean? So that would be, oh, okay. Oh, I'm not sure what you mean by that, because I've already got all the events here. All of them, all 4740s from that server. Now here, I'm just searching through it. Yep. Yeah, I still don't know what that looks like. I'm just some confused. Yes, we would be searching for identity, which is the username. I'm trying to think, do we just loop through the list every time until there's a match? I know there's faster ways to do it, but it's not that taxing to, yeah. Right, but because we're in a pipeline, we would be looping through for each user that comes down. I guess that's probably okay. Yeah, that's probably what we have to do anyway. Yeah, up here is what you mean. Because this is the locked out users pipeline. You're saying there's something else to do up here? Oh, do you mean wait. Can I? No, not like that. I can't access it like this. I don't think this would work. And then, you know, lockout. Let me just make... Oh, it's not yet. So that's not what I'm returning here. This isn't a hash table being returned. So that lockout events is just identity and lockout source, because that's what this function returns. So I would think that this is the built. You have a list of objects. Okay. So then up here, you're saying loop through those. Well, I could just do that here. And you're saying just return the hash table like this. No, I'm confused, man. I'm sorry if I'm being slow. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. And then I would pair the username with its lockout source. Yeah. Okay. That's the light bulb. If I do that, then I'm going to have to let this only return one result for each result. I didn't say that right. The way this is written, if there's 50 lockout events, it's going to return identity user1 with a computer, user1 with a computer. So if there's, so if this syntax, SAM account name, there could be multiple results to this. We want the newest one. And the way to get the newest one is to filter that here. Yeah. And if it's already there, then just skip it. Yeah. Okay. Because then this works as the way I want it to. But here we're building the hash table. This makes a lot of sense now. So for each one, gosh, GitHub Copilot just makes this stuff look so weird. Get out of here. Like that. Oh, no. Nope. I did this wrong. Nope. There. That is what that's called, right? Lockout source. If not, that's all right. There. If there already is not an entry for that, write one. You know what I should also include is the time created log. Yeah, just so I have it. Oh, well, it wouldn't come through the hash table, but it would make this function better. Yeah, okay. So then down here, name value is lockout events. There we go. And that's only if they provide this. Otherwise, we're still a fast boy. Oh, true. Good call, man. We could do something like unknown or something. Yeah, if we query the whole server for logs, which this should really never happen. But just in case, let's say they are locked out 100%, but the server doesn't have a log for them, which again, this would never happen. Then we would hit this code. They'd still show up as being locked out, but we did not find a lockout event for them. So we'll just say unknown. This is rare, but there's more to Active Directory than I know. So we'll just do it this way. If we left the code just like this, if there wasn't anything, it wouldn't even return that they were locked out at all. So that this is a failsafe to make sure it at least returns an object. So yeah, if they've never been locked out, they wouldn't show up here. If they are locked out, there will be a log on the server. This is just, so Glow is who's locked out right now. These 11 users, or 60 users, or 5,000 users. Adding this flag, if we decide to, goes through all this work to query for the source. Yeah, you know what? Noel, I'm going to send these to you on the side. Oh, great. Upload as file. Sure. And you can run, then you can just run Glow with the flag and see if you get the sources like we're expecting. So that I need to send you that one, which I just did. And this one. If you would, please. So to do this, make sure you import. So import module HelpDesk first, and then paste both of these commands into your console. And then just run Glow with the flag. The what is it? Include lockout source. And I'd love to see You don't have, show it to me, but let me know that you get the source for each one of those. And it doesn't take 5 minutes. Cool. Yeah, what was the big takeaway from this? One of them was this filter hash table. That was a huge win. Thank you. So that's that. The next big homework for me is to figure out if there's a better, more reliable way to parse the message of the log. Because I've had 2 conflicting results. It works for one person. They always get the username. The other person, it's blank. They get nothing or they get an error. So I need to make sure that I filter this properly. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I think, let me save this for now. Let me copy that, but not save it. Okay. What did I change in VS Code? Weird. Okay, I need a git ignore. I want to git ignore. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna wait for Noel to check on this before I commit this, but you know what? I don't have to. I'll just say that. Cool. Where's that at? Oh, it only tests PRs? Oops. Oh, it does. Noel saying it. Okay, it makes him enter an identity. So that would be handled. Here, I make it mandatory, which I don't need to do anymore. Let me send you this, Noel. Sorry about that. All right, try that. Oh, I don't have this extra stuff on HelpDesk. So I've got extra builds and tests and things on my admin toolkit. Whoa, that's not what I want. Get out of here. On admin toolkit, I've got code tests on every push in each OS, in a build for each push, and then tests So I have tests, and then I build it, and then I test after the module is built on every push. And then when I PR into master, I rerun every test and then obviously publish to the PowerShell gallery. And watching GitHub Universe today, I would like to create an auto release pipeline as well. Apparently that just became easier. So if I tag the commit with the new version, which is what my code detects for, oh, that's why it requires identity. Hang on, Noel. So because this function is now so much faster, here I was confirming that the user was locked out in the first place before we even look at the logs. But because this is so much faster, I probably don't even need to do this. Yeah, I could probably get rid of this entirely. Oh, wait. Interesting. I would need to... How do I work around this? So Noel's getting an error on this line because we're not getting anything from the pipeline. So if an object is piped in, this grabs it and sets the user value here. So we can use this in this filter later down here. But because he's not piping it, it's directly from Glow, and Glow runs it just like this, no pipeline, without an identity. There. If there's no identity, I don't need to do that at all. If there is no identity, then this won't do anything. Okay, this isn't ready yet. No, this won't work because providing the identity, I was able to just hand that off. But here, we would have to actually parse the logs to figure out what user that log belongs to, as well as what computer it's talking about. Is there a username in the message of the log? Somewhere? There's the computer name at the bottom, but towards the top, wasn't there a... there's no username in the message of it. Where would is there a username anywhere? Where is the SID on the log object? Like, what is it on a certain property or what? Oh, the SID is in the message. Okay. It's in the message. So this would have to do some garbage like this to figure out what the username is. Yeah, it would be like that's that. This needs to go. What is the what's the variable name I gave you before? I'm assuming that's the same variable you're playing with. All lockout logs. You're doing something like this to get your logs. Can we just do how was I doing that? Okay. If this is what I think you're doing, here, I sent it in both chats. You can run this, and it should look like some garbage. But at the end, if you start doing, wow, like 0 here, or a 1, or a 2, eventually we're going to figure out which one of these, if we split it on tab, gives you the SID back. You tell me the number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many it takes to get the SID back from the message if we parse it with the tab. I hate doing this stuff this way. I'm going to have to research how to better, more reliably parse this, but ugh. Keeping us hanging, man. This sucks because I can't test this stuff. That's the really frustrating part about this. Where I'm at now, I don't have the domain access that I used to, but I'm trying to maintain something that does all the domain things. So this was your feature request, so you have to help me. Oh, that's true. Well, see, if he were to copy paste it to me, it wouldn't have the same, the text isn't the same behind the scenes. It wouldn't keep the /t's or the /n's for new lines that I think the actual log actually has. So until I get my hands on an actual log that PowerShell preserves all that gross stuff in the text, if he just copy pastes it to me on Discord, it loses that extra formatting for a new line and things like that. So it's, even if we tried like a convert to XML, convert to JSON, and I import directly from that JSON, PowerShell just doesn't know what to do with it because it's whatever platform he pastes it in, it strips all that stuff. And so it's just not the same unless I can get my hands on it myself. So I'll figure it out. I'll figure something out, but Okay, I think I'm going to have to call it quits soon. I'd like to finish this. If we can finish this, which we need to do because we're not providing the identity. No, 15? You have to index 15 right here? That is nuts. Wow. Okay. So this gives us the username. You no longer should require identity. So you should be able to run this. Let me get this to you now. Yeah, you'll just paste this and then you can still run that glow command. Hope this works. Anyway, since I'm about to cut this short here, hopefully I will get back into a groove of streaming weekly. I used to stream every Thursday at, what was it, like 10 o'clock a.m. Central? And like I said, after the kiddo and everything, I just sort of fell off that wagon. Things have just been busy. What's null? That doesn't make sense. Well, we'll figure this out some other time. For now, I think we made great progress. We're just messing with syntax stuff right now, but very close to getting this to work. Noel and I will tag team this some other time. I gotta go pick up some kiddos, so I'm gonna take off here. But yeah, like I said, things have just been busy, but you know, like Noel reached out and asked, oh, hey, can you create this feature? So heck yeah, that gives me something to do. But I wish a lot of my work stuff was, open sourceable. Man, I write PowerShell all day long, but it's internal only. I can't really share it. So I'd have lots to work on, stream wise if my work could be open sourced, but it just can't. Although I do a lot of F5 stuff. So I know, at the beginning of this, we forked and fixed something on, well, maybe not fixed, but hopefully improved something on the F5 LTM module. Where's that at? So maybe we can work on more stuff like that, but it gets hard after a while when I don't have a lot of active projects to keep finding stuff to work on. But I've got a few. GitHub Universe is out, and they've released a bunch of cool stuff that GitHub can do now. So I'm gonna try to get some of that integrated into my stuff. Like I said, auto-publishing a release based on a tag, based on a version of the module that I'm publishing to the PowerShell gallery. That would be cool. So I've got a version on the PowerShell gallery, and I've also got it wrapped up in a release in GitHub. That would be nice. I don't have that right now, but that's something I can work on, which isn't PowerShell directly, but it's GitHub workflow stuff. Where is that at? Admin toolkit is the closest thing. I've got more test actions here and stuff, but getting an auto release over here would be nice. A Discord bot in PowerShell. I haven't looked at that. I know we've done some webhook stuff, but that would be very interesting to write. There's so much Python. The Python Discord library is pretty popular. Yeah, maybe. Do you have a repo for, have you started a bot repo? Or would we need to make one? Okay. Well, wherever we decide to put that, maybe we make a project out of it or something on a repo and, make it official for maybe our whole server can get involved. If they've, got GitHub or whatever, but Anyway, yeah, lots of little projects. But without you guys giving me those ideas, it's hard for me to just keep coming up with them. But now that I've started streaming again, PowerShell, I think it'll be easier to keep going. But I've been streaming a little bit of New World. I made a separate gaming Twitch account just for gaming. I didn't think my PowerShell peeps would want to be bugged with video games, so I made a whole second Twitch account just for my games and stuff. But if you're interested in that, follow. Here it is. This is really small. Username is HelpDesk because HelpDesk was taken, so I wrapped it in X's. But this is where I game. Well, I just want to keep them separate. I don't know. But yeah, so lots of projects. And I mean, tomorrow's Thursday, so maybe I'll stream again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central. So the way that I switch is just I have to sign out of Streamlabs and sign in with the other account. Streamlabs keeps my themes and layouts and settings and everything. So if I blow up one of these streams, we'll see that the overlay, I've got a different overlay, different, a banner up here and stuff like that. That is stored in Streamlabs when I sign in to the other account. So when I want to stream games, I just sign in to it. All my layouts are there. Go live. I'm going live as this. But to do this, I signed out of that, signed into this account. Poof, my old PowerShell, green and blue theme is here. All my scenes are here. So that might get annoying after a while, but not really. I just have to sign out and sign back in. It's not a big deal. Me going through that is worth it to not bug my PowerShell people with games if they don't want to see it, or not bug my gaming followers with PowerShell if they don't want to see it. So to me, it seemed worth it to just, keep signing out and signing back in. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. So that's how I handle that. But anyway, I am going to sign off for today. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning. I think I am going to stream sometime tomorrow now that I've got this project. Kind of want to finish it. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the feedback. Thanks for writing half the code for me, Gosh, that hash table of what you were saying just wasn't clicking at the time. I was like, what? But it's been like 5 hours since I've had coffee, so give me a break. Yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to be streaming PowerShell. And yeah, have a good one. See you guys.